Mr. Azam Nazir Tarrar.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for the kind words. Honorable Speaker, National Assembly of Pakistan, Honorable Deputy Speaker of Azerbaijan, my fellow panelists, Excellencies, Honorable foreign dignitaries, heads of political parties from all across the Pakistan, members of parliament, ladies and gentlemen. It's a matter of great honor for me being part of this historical event, the Golden Jubilee celebrations of our Constitution. I must congratulate the Honorable Speaker and his team for organizing such a wonderful event for us and for our foreign dignitaries. We'll be talking about the Constitution in the changing world, balancing stability and adaptability. The first question posed would be that what challenges do constitutional democracies face in the 21st century, and how can they adapt to meet those while maintaining their core values and principles? Ladies and gentlemen, looking at the past decades, there are considerable challenges to democracies that have emerged, such as the rise of hybrid democracies, populism and nationalism, corruption and state captures, decreasing levels of truth in politics, and rising conflict and migration waves. If unaddressed, these threats could endanger the hard-fought gains in new democracies, as well as corrode democratic principles in established democracies. Many populist outsiders come to power speaking on behalf of the people, but often doing so in ways that seem to challenge basic norms of liberal democracy. Now, overcoming polarization. While some partisan polarization is healthy for democracy, one of the key drivers of the democratic decay in new and established democracies is intense polarization. Democracies acquire authoritarian features when political actors reject the democratic rules of game, deny the legitimacy of opponents, encourage violence, and curtail the civil liberties of opponents. Now, another feature is the globalization, economic inequality, and democratic disconnect. The third major theme is the indirect ways in which unequal economic resources diminishes the quality of democracy through voting, institutional design, campaign spending, and media. Widening economic inequalities and a deepening gulf between the political elites and those they represent are eroding the sources of legitimacy on which the viability of regime rests. Organized as vehicles for the formation of democratic will, the weakening of political parties is now under discussion. They are felt to be remote from their members and beholden to powerful backers. Political parties are now often perceived as mechanisms that function to manage supporters' expectations rather than challenging their collective will. Since constitutional democracy requires a stable political party system that provides for partisan contest within a rule-based framework of government and opposition, this development also weakens the authority of this type of governing regime. Challenges to judicial independence, media integrity, civil liberties, and several fundamental rights, such as freedom of expression and freedom of movements, threaten democracies. How should basic constitutional structure adapt in response to crises such as the revolutions, wars, local and global economic disorders, pandemics, and/or natural disasters? The subnational governments at the regional and local levels play an important role in the prevention, management, and recovery from natural disasters and pandemics. These jurisdictions are responsible for providing frontline services that are crucial for effective crisis management, including health care, civil protection, public order and safety, and for rebuilding lost or damaged physical infrastructure in the recovery phase. New businesses opportunities and the reallocation of resources from declining activities towards emerging opportunities are vital to recovery. Governments will need to avoid locking in old economic structures and businesses models, facilitating the creation of new firms and ensuring competition that can help underpin such restructuring. Investment in high-speed broadband communications networks that are part of economic stimulus packages must be accompanied by regulatory frameworks which support open access to networks and competition in the market. Such investment should also aim at stimulating the use of information and communication technologies, commonly known as ICTs, to secure economic and social benefits. Linking ICT investment with other large physical infrastructure investment, such as buildings, roads, transportation systems, health and electricity grids, allow them to be smart and save energy, assist the aging, improve safety, and adapt to new ideas. The crisis also represents an opportunity to raise investment in human capital, support for education and training that can accelerate the healthy transition to new jobs and emerging opportunities. It is also essential for innovation, which requires a broad set of skills. Building such skills starts in primary school and continues through firm-based training and lifelong education. Ambitious policy to address climate change makes economic sense to improve efficiency in the use of energy and materials, to move towards more sustainable manufacturing, and to develop new green businesses and industries. Examples are immediate win-win policies that governments can take advantage of, which include remove subsidies to fossil fuel-based energy production and consumption, cut trade barriers to climate-friendly goods, address market failures that prevent improvements in the energy efficiency of buildings and transport systems, reform policies that could achieve a given environmental objective more effectively. Ladies and gentlemen, how have the spread of emerging digital technologies and social media affected fundamental laws of the countries? The spread of emerging digital technologies pose broader challenges to fundamental rights, which must be addressed in order to maintain the quality of our democracy. Because data is held on a vast scale, the risks and impacts of its misuse are also vast. The dark end of digital spectrum threatens not just privacy and safety, but undermines free and fair elections, jeopardizes freedom of expression, information, thought and belief, and buries the truth under the fake news. It seems clear that the digital world has been beneficial for freedom of expression and information. However, technology has created another problem from the pre-digital era: human rights violations committed in the name of national security and counterterrorism, even by democratic and human rights respecting governments. This is one of the issues. Political participatory options have increased with new forms of communication, but in practice, the imbalances and problems are continuous, and manipulations and populism are real threats that diminish the stability of coexistence. Online harassment, trolling campaigns, and intimidation have polluted parts of internet and pose very real offline threats. Digital technology has brought many challenges to the enjoyment of human rights, to security, and to the governance. The test for governments, private sector actors, members of civil society, and the technology community is whether, through multi-stakeholder collaboration, they can develop proactive and holistic policies that ensure that technology is used to increase both freedom and security, and that the benefits of digital technology is spread to people around the globe. How has the globalization, immigration, trade flows, knowledge economy, and international commitments and agreements affected basic and fundamental law of national jurisdictions? This is another challenge, sir. The development of globalization brings about fundamental changes not only in the economy, in society, and in politics, but also in the law. These changes affect the areas subject to legal regulation, the technologies of communication and travel, the expanded economic areas, and the political opening of states lead to increase in cross-national communication, international dispersion of production system, transnational trade, global markets, mobility of people and businesses, and offshore investments. These processes have both desirable socially advantageous effects as well as socially advantageous effects and as well as effects that are damaging to society. So it's two ways. In the private law context, parties in different jurisdictions sign contracts of sale, multinational enterprises from competition limiting cartels that affects the world market and through the dissemination of files in internet. Copyright violations occurs in a multitude of states simultaneously. The term globalization helps to remind that new communications technology means that companies really can have global reach and local operations without actually establishing themselves with permanent regional or national headquarters, which is almost going on in especially the social media platform things. The fact that human rights groups cannot easily fix such non-state actors in a certain place has led us to believe that some of these global actors are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Similarly, public law is confronted by cross-border cases when emissions damaging to the domestic environment are released from foreign territory. Foreign suppliers offer gambling via internet. Multinational concerns divert profits to subsidiaries located in offshore tax havens, and financial supervisory authorities control the sale of foreign financial products. In criminal law, corresponding challenges arise when in the prosecution of transnational terrorism and global organized crime and economic crimes, cross-border investigation are coordinated and access to persons or evidence abroad obtained, and we need to have a close interaction and cooperation in this regard in future. In the area of international criminal law, new problems arise when armed groups attack foreign territories rather than their own country. It is a seamless transition from cross-border activities which take place in the territories of two or more countries to activities of global magnitude whose effects are felt at around the world and which can only be solved by joint efforts of the world community of states. One of the reasons why we are here to discuss these issues and find out solutions as well. As a result of this increasing need for cross-border regulation, the traditional law of nation-state is confronted more and more frequently with transnational activities that affect several states, endanger legal decisions that must be enforced in foreign territory, and raise issues that can only be solved on a global level. In summing up, ladies and gentlemen, we must realize that in order to live better and do good in modern times of globalization, we need to have constant and smooth interactions amongst the states. Thank you very much.